The whole thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Hopefully you like that intro. StreamYard's update some of their cool features and made it a little bit easier to run that stuff. So we're live. If everybody wouldn't mind letting us know if you can hear us in the chat. I am doubled up. Give me a sec.
Hello, by the way.
There we go. I think we're good. Please let me know if you can hear me and how the volume is. All right, we got some good stuff. People are saying it's good.
Yeah, all good. Can hear you. Can everybody hear me?
All right, volume looks like it's good on both ends. Well, let's get started. We wanted to do a live stream today to announce that we're going to launch Suie today, and we're going to run a 0.5.
0.6, I was thinking, for just today.
6, yep. April Fools, everyone. Of course, we're not doing that. Suie's coming super soon, though. I don't want to clog down the live stream with this. We had it already tested, everything tested perfectly. And then the contracts work a little bit different in the real world when they're live than they do on the test server in terms of timing. So as you guys know, when you're running transactions, there's multiple transactions that are popping up and you're having to approve those in order. They're on a bit of a delay, so they go through at the right time. For whatever reason, Suie was just pushing all the actions at the same time, which of course that doesn't work. They have to go in order. So quick fixes on those should be out soon. We'll do maybe another live stream if we can with Keith. As you guys know, if you're in the chats, Keith has a family issue that he's attending to. From, I guess he already shared plenty in the chat. So we did get word from him this morning that the surgery went well with his mother. So things like that are looking good. So we're super happy to hear that things are well on his front. And then he'll check in with us every few hours, just giving us updates and stuff like that. So expect to hear more from us on that later. Once his mom is home and on the mend, we'll get him back on a live stream and we'll talk through Suie so you guys can understand the technical side of that. So we're missing him today, but we figured we would just talk about some of the stuff that's been happening over the last couple months. We haven't done a live stream in a while, and we're in the middle of a big Swapex competition, big Swapex giveaway. So figured this would be a good opportunity for Lee and I to get on stream, talk through that. There's been a lot of individual questions. Shout out to our admins who are handling all those one by one in the chat, but maybe people can get an opportunity to ask those here and we can answer them. So let me really quickly lay the groundwork on that if I can do it. Let me share.
The music too loud, Scott. Someone's saying turn the music down a tad.
Is the music up? Okay. I can't even hear it. Give me a sec.
It's fine for me, but obviously it's different compression for the users, isn't it? That sounds about right.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. I can still hear it just lightly.
Okay. Let's DSW's right here. Let's smash the likes if you guys don't mind. Let me share my screen. Don't want to get too far off track. I know some people only watch the first couple minutes of the video, so let's get an important hook in first so you guys can see this on the screen. Of course, everything's right behind my camera. Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody could see that. This is the home screen. If you land on, or the pools page, I guess, if you land on PACA right now, it's going to direct you to the pools page. If you have made a stake before, if not, it would take you to the home page. And it should pop up every time the PACA and SwapX giveaway that we're doing. We've been super happy working with SwapX over the last several months. Like I said in previous posts and on previous videos, we've had a big giveaway in the works for a long time. We just were trying to find the right way to do it. They've been announcing partners and rolling new stuff out, so we didn't want to come over the top of any promotion that they were running, and we've been doing stuff on our side as well. So last week it seemed like a perfect time to really get this thing launched. So this has been live for about a week. We have a lot of people in. Last I checked, it was 350 or so, but that was a day and a half ago, so we could have a lot more. But a lot of people are taking advantage of this. So this is extremely easy. You don't even really technically have to make deposits to be able to win this. You could just do an action or two and end up actually winning a big chunk of this $40,000 in prize money. I don't know of any other protocol that's doing anything like this or done anything like this, especially, of our size. So we feel like it's unique in the space, and hopefully it'll draw a lot of eyes in both to our protocol and also theirs. SwapX is is already, I believe, the biggest DEX on Sonic, and it's going to be the premier DEX for sure for a lot of years to come. So why not get involved with it? Why not get involved with PancakeSwap early on, or Uniswap early on? These DEXs turned out to be juggernauts, so you got an opportunity to not only get involved with them on an ownership basis if you want to go buy one of the X NFTs that are available on the market, or if you just want to use it to farm and own the tokens. If you watch what happened with PancakeSwap during the last bull run, or after they launched their token, it skyrocketed. So SwapX may be a really good play. So anyway, we really enjoyed the partnership. We're giving away a ton of money. 3 lucky winners are going to win a total of 50,000 VE SwapX. Excuse me. 50,000 VE SwapX. What VE SwapX is that is the voting token. Essentially, you'll be able to go in and vote on what pools you want, what emissions for, and all of those individual pools are giving away bribes, whether it's free SwapX or free Sonic or free Wrap Sonic or USDCE or one of their tokens. There's just a bunch of money being given away. So it's definitely something you're going to want to be involved in, and someone's going to become an instant voting whale. 3 people really, as soon as this prize gives away at the end of the month. So super exciting there. We're giving away 10 grand in stablecoin stakes, which will turn into 20 because those are at 0.4. So ton of money there being given away. We're going to buy a bunch of fresh SwapX right off the market and kick it out to people. And then we're giving away 250 million Suie, which is the meme token that we created on the Suie network a while back. So giving that some additional utility. We're going to have some burns and all sorts of stuff coming up on that, but I'm going to roll that all at once. But all you have to do is enter your email address, a valid email address, and then give us your Telegram username if you have one, or at least your first name. Once you get in, there's a series of actions that you can go through, including following our YouTube channels and following our Twitter account, our X account, retweeting the posts that we have about the promotion, and then you can go in and make individual deposits. So if you want to come over here and add some money to the BSC pool, or rather the base pool or the Sonic pool, those will give you some additional entries. So there's a bunch of ways to get entries. At the end of the month, we use the randomizer. It will pick the winners. We'll just go verify those transactions are real. If they are, we're going to kick the money over to the wallets that you guys inputted for us. So anyway, that contest is going live. Why don't we start out with, if there's any questions in regard to the giveaway, let's answer those right now, because I know that there's a handful of people that still are a little bit unsure about how one thing works or another. So if there's any questions on that, lay them out, and then we'll just kind of keep talking. We'll talk about the market, the state of things. We'll talk about how PACA somehow has climbed to 11.7 million in total deposits, which is absolutely insane. And we can talk through the full lot, but I'll let you guys rattle out any questions in here, and I'll start to throw them up on the screen. And I will give my partner Lee an opportunity to talk, since that's all I've been doing since we started.
Oh, it's probably best not to give me that opportunity. I'll just go with the flow. Otherwise, I'll just take up 45 minutes of waffle.
All right, what do we got here? I haven't checked the chat, so let me screen through them real quick and see if there's anything. Please smash the like so more people can see this. It's a great contest giveaway. It's pretty wild. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody do anything like it. So pretty easy way to make deposits that you were already going to make, and go through and just follow our social media channels and maybe be an instant whale in VE SwapX and get some massive stakes over here on PACA. So in general, pretty solid.
Am I David Beckham in disguise? From David. I could be. Maybe. I wish I had his money.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not too far from you, isn't he? Isn't his plot over there? Or did he move to Miami?
He's in America now. He's a US citizen now, mate.
Mm.
Which I'm probably going to be myself in the next 18 months if all goes well.
You're gonna have to be.
Yeah.
The way things are going in the UK right now.
There's a bit of alpha. I'm applying for a visa in the next 3 months, a proper one this time. Maybe an E2, and then Scott's going to get sick of seeing me.
It will get irritating.
Because I'm staying in his spare room. He doesn't even know it yet.
I gotta sponsor you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's my PACA merch? So we'll get to that. We have been a little bit busy rolling everything out, but we definitely will at some point kick out some cool PACA merch. I'm literally wearing PACA sweatshirt right now.
I forgot my cap as well.
We'll kick them out. It makes it a little difficult if like everyone was a US or a UK buyer. It's easier to go through the shipping and everything. A little harder to go international for stuff that's only going to sell, 1,000 units or something, but. All right, I'm almost getting caught up in the chat. Music good now? I can see he commented on that. I just want to make sure everybody's good on the music. I can just barely hear it. So
yeah, it's super low.
Okay. Yeah, they're making me do an awful lot of reading. Can you combine LP deposits to get to a certain level? A certain level in what? Are we talking about? So we don't have any LPs on our side, so it wouldn't be a PACA related item, right? It would be SwapX. So can you combine SwapX LPs on SwapX to get to a certain level? And a certain level of what? So you'll need to give me some more details there. We do have a couple of actions on the list that require you to buy SwapX, some fresh SwapX off the market. A lot of people are buying that fresh SwapX, putting in the transaction code so they get credit for that line item, and then they're going and creating the LPs and just staking them and earning money, or they're turning that into VE SwapX and then voting. So you can do different things with them, but let me know what you're talking about there and I'll answer it. Yeah,
in terms of if you're, obviously we're guessing, but it sounds like you mean if you deposit an LP on SwapX, for instance, the Ichi pool, you've put 10 grand in, that will not qualify as a action on our competition, because this is a PACA stroke SwapX promotion. But the tasks that Scott showed you at the start of the stream, which if you go to PACA.finance, you'll have a list of the actions you can take to earn the points that you need, the entries that you need. But yeah, we don't have LPs. And if, just on side note, security wise, if you ever see a PACA clone site with LPs and all that kind of stuff, just ignore it. We're the only one. Just don't engage in that kind of stuff. Stay PACA.finance, that's it. And the competition instructions are all on there for you to read, and be sure that you're doing the right things on the right site.
How many entries? Next question. How many entries have been made in the first week? I would have to download this report here, but I can see that there was 352 individuals have jumped in there and put in a unique email and unique wallet addresses and the whole deal. So 352 people in the first week. We're running this for about 5 weeks. Eventually it'll taper off, but the more this gets out to new communities and everything, you could see a flood of 1,000 new people come in. But I have to download the report and run the entries. There's only 1 or 2 people that have maxed out. There's a lot of people in that 20 to 60 or 100 range. But again, really you only need, technically you need at least 3 entries to be able to win. Because if you don't put in your wallet addresses, I'm not sending you any money. So you'd have to do those items, but 1 entry gets you to win, right? So it's going to go through the randomizer. It's going to pick it by just the individual, and then we're just going to go through and check the transactions and make sure they're valid, that they happen from that wallet that they're asking to get paid out to. So they can't just go to the blockchain and go, cool, someone made a stake for $5,000. I'm going to steal their transaction code. I'm going to put it over on mine. If it doesn't match the wallet address, then we're not paying that out. So obviously there's a few different steps we had to take to make it so people couldn't do fraud. That's slightly restrictive because a lot of different people have different wallet addresses for different things, but we made it as good as we can. It's always interesting to run use an application that's built for real world people who want to get contacted for DeFi, where people want to remain anonymous and just have money show up in their wallet. So a little bit tricky for us to get right, but it's up, it's running, and so people are going to get paid out. Let me do this real quick. I want to show you guys the actions as we're getting some questions about those. Lee, you can answer that one.
Will our Suie deposits be possible on the vaults? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Obviously, when it comes to anything Suie, let me just put this out there. By the way, hello Keith. Our ball's going well in your situation without saying too much, because I am a leaker. Hope everything's fine there. When it comes to Suie, it's such a difficult chain to build utility on. And what we found was that we needed extra assistance with an actual targeted Suie developer who has been working closely with Keith and really pushing forward on Suie. And obviously it's got to be right. We could have launched something, but as Scott will always say in our private dev chat, it's got to be right. And it is, because me and Keith are like very, what, shall we tell him? Shall we tell him? No, let's get it right first. So when it comes to Suie, you'll see a lot of, well, you've seen a lot of nothing so far, but when it drops, I think you'll be very, very impressed with how smooth it is and how, well, I suppose like anything, you probably won't see the amount of work that's gone into it, but when you use it as a user, you'll appreciate why it's took that little bit of extra time. So
yeah, that's a good point. Our hope is that you see nothing, that you click on Suie, you go make the stakes and everything goes in, and then you're able to deposit Al Suie in the vault to play around with some other things. So hopefully the flexibility for you is super smooth. I'm always keep it simple, but also innovative at the same time kind of guy. So I'm very much, let's not try to do too much crazy stuff in the space, because if people aren't ready for it, or it takes a lot to explain, then people don't get into it. It just takes too long to learn, right? You saw that with you've seen it with a lot of different protocols who are super intelligent and super intelligent devs. But it takes hours to be able to explain intricacies of why you'd want a loan off this to do this. And for the average investor, that's not really what they're here for. Get their feet wet with something that's easy. And then the people that find a passion in it will really kind of dig into DeFi. So the vaults, or the pools rather, were built specifically for that reason. You put the money in, you come back whenever you want, whether it's 2 weeks. There's no 12-hour or 24-hour action that's required. It's not gamified like that. You can go out overseas for a month. We just had someone who's a big whale take a bunch of time off from claiming, and then came in and claimed their 22 grand or whatever it was, to pay their bills. It's nice to just be able to put your funds in and then take them out at the end. So it's much more like traditional finance in that way, where it's simplified, but not like traditional finance at all, in that you make way more money. So it's a balance of trying to make things really simple for people and give people the option to do, to invest, but make it easy, and then a balance between trying to do some stuff that's innovative. So for us, the vaults were a good innovation. So if people wanted to park some of those tokens and take advantage of the upside when that does happen, then they can do that. If they don't want to, that's fine as well. It's just really another safe option for them. And then the marketplace was a great innovation allows people to go peer-to-peer and sell in and out of the protocol, do whatever they want. Frankly, it's really It's between all the individual investors. So if they've got something they want to get into, or they are just trying to find a clever way to move from the BSC pool to the Sonic pool, because the Sonic pool is doing a promo or whatever, and they've done the math and it's right for them, then good. It's peer-to-peer transaction, so allows people to do that. Reduces our total liability as PACA in the meantime. So it's really just a fantastic tool that can be used. We'll add Suie. I don't know what else. We've discussed a lot of different things. We obviously want to get all this stuff out and correct before we do anything else, but we will never make our protocol super complicated, and we will always try to make it just work as user-friendly as possible. So still some stuff we got to clean up, but you know how that goes. Shout out to Stunna. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Appreciate you.
I was listening to his video last night. Someone posted in our chat, and I love Stunna's storytelling ability. I was listening to the story about that, the rapper and the police and that, and I was well into it. I went down the rabbit hole of Googling it, and I was like, oh, it's a PACA video. Let's get back to PACA. But yes, it's cool to see you, bro.
All right, so deposit greater than 500 even, or 501 cent, or $550 or $1,000, whatever. Just it has to be greater than the set amount. So as you can see on the screen, deposit equal to or greater than. The problem is if I throw all those extra words in, then it goes on to 2 lines, or it won't accept. I think it just cuts it off. So here are all the actions. Basically, if you make a $100 even deposit in the Sonic pool, you get these 10 entries. You just paste your transaction code here after you made that transaction, and then you do that with all these other entries. So equal to that dollar amount or greater. You cannot make a $5,000 deposit and then go in and say, okay, well, that counts for 2,500 too, and 500 and 100. It's one transaction code per line item per entry. So that's explained in the rules. You can go and review the rules. We've done that previously on a couple of videos, and everyone should understand that what we're trying to do is incentivize use of both platforms. So you've got the ability to come over here and pick up a NFT that is the SwapX X NFT. So you have some ownership over on the SwapX DEX side. You can put that NFT ID here and get some additional entries. You also can buy SwapX tokens off the DEX in a couple different groupings or whatever, 500 or more or 2,000 or more, and then we're going to add more things to this soon. A lot of folks have gone in and done what they can do, and we want to make it interesting, of course, for the next 4 weeks that this is running live. So expect this to change. Don't just immediately shut it down. Take a look and see if there's any extra actions that you haven't taken yet and that you can either afford to do, or maybe some of them will be free and just easy. We're obviously trying to share all the stuff on social media that gets out to more people. That's essentially free marketing, so that deserves some entries too. Keith's just tapping in over here, probably laying in the waiting room of a hospital with his headphones in.
Yeah.
Make like the... I don't know what this means.
Is it the deposit amount for more entries?
Each stake, sorry, I was on mute. Each stake must be equal to or greater than the dollar amount that is in the line item. So if you're adding all your stakes together to create a certain dollar amount, that doesn't make sense because I need one transaction code.
Yeah.
Let's see. Unrelated to the contest, but any big plans in the works for the 1-year anniversary? We've thrown some ideas around. It will be right in the middle of the SwapX contest. So that'll be going on, but we will roll that out when the time comes. It's about 3.5 weeks away, I believe, that we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary, which is pretty cool. So I'm sure we'll be, 12.5 million or something like that by then, which is pretty cool. Pretty good year in terms of growth and developments. I mean, we started out as 8-bit, and it was just more simplified, easy in, easy out, and real similar rather to what we have with the pools. But we made it a little more professional. Once it started to grow, we realized people were going to want to see this as a more professional platform. So we rebranded. Really liked the PACA idea, and we ran with that. So we've been on that for many months now, and probably like 9 months. So we've only got a few weeks left. We'll hit our 1 year mark. So I don't know exactly what we'll do, but we will roll that out on the 28th, 29th, and everyone can have fun with that. This is true. So Lee is going to need the $5 million
I was going to say it's
per member of his household to be able to get those golden visas. That's the real way to come over. If you want guaranteed access to the United States, every country, almost every country does this. Not every country, but every big country has some sort of a golden visa where they will give you a passport if you throw enough money at it. So that's it. We just need the market to go absolutely insane, and then Lee can drop tens of millions of dollars on golden visas to be here.
Yeah, just the 25 million I need. So
that's nothing.
If you got a tip jar activated on StreamYard, dude, maybe we could raise that tonight.
If you guys wouldn't mind tipping, we got a ways to go. Oh, let's see. That is the goal, Chris. Set it and forget it. Hopefully people have the opportunity to just come in, park their money, come back a couple weeks later, claim, do their thing. Just trying to make it as simple as possible for people.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, thank you. Appreciate that. We get a lot of these stories. We get a lot of DMs. We don't really share them very often, but there's a lot of people that are like, my kid had a medical bill, or it could be
roof.
Right, or roof caved in, or my car broke down, or I lost my job, and PACA saved me, bridged the gap for a couple months for me to be able to get into the new thing. So thank you guys. And we get a lot of those messages. So pretty cool. I mean, obviously the goal is to make money and make an impact and make DeFi better. And DeFi sucks sometimes. We've all been through it. So we've all been through probably 95% of protocols end up being trash, whether that's the devs are just bad actors, and eventually it goes away from a rug pull or whatever, or great devs, just an idea that didn't work, or the timing that didn't work, or whatever, and everyone ends up getting drained. So we're doing our best to just make sure we're around for the long haul.
We've had lots of testimonials in DMs, some really cool ones, and some people don't want to share it, some people do. So we'll update testimonials, periodically. We've had some people, one person who I kind of know but don't really know, long story short, hasn't been on holiday or vacation with his wife for 20 years. He put his last shot into PACA months and months and months ago, and he needed $600 for the deposit. He'd got all the rest of the money, he just needed this fast 600, and he used the marketplace and sold one of his stakes because he knew he was going to be able to compound his way through it anyway, and sold the stake within 30 minutes and paid his holiday deposit for his dream vacation with his wife. And that one stuck with me a little bit because I think it's really cool that something that we have built with the team and you as a community helping us with ideas and stuff that could impact someone's life. So, like, small in terms of the amount of money, but huge in terms of the impact it's had on that person's, retirement years. It's pretty cool. I like it. Hearing it.
Awesome. I agree. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I sent a message to one of my buddies earlier, just totally messing with him. It was an April Fool's joke, and I forgot, and I never told him that wasn't true. So he's texting me in a panic right now. Give me a sec.
Savage. I'll answer that one, Chris. You guys are still degen at heart. You still look for projects and get in personally. Yeah, I'm not going to try and BS anyone. I am a degen at heart, although I have to be more serious these days. But with personal money, I'll degen into all sorts of rubbish, hoping that one of them might do something. And I've been quite lucky that there's not been too much utter dog crap on the market. There's been some decent things out there that I feel that, you know, is worth a few $100s to see. And I told you in my previous video, the marketplace is something that I loan myself to do that, because it frees up a little bit of capital, little hit on it. If it hits and I do well, the money comes back in. If not, I save up and then put it back in anyway. But yeah, the question you're asking, I am a degen at heart. But when it comes to PACA, zero degeneracy at all. But personally, yeah.
Yeah, same. I've been approached with a million different ROI dApps over the last 90 days, probably. A lot of new stuff's coming out. And I've just, if it's not anything that new and innovative, or like, I don't know, the dev, I can't even focus on that. Obviously, PACA is a guaranteed money maker. So why deviate too far from that? If it's innovative, it's worth $1,000 or so in personal capital to see if it could make a splash or something. But for the most part, I'm not doing that. I don't have time to make videos on it or anything like that. So really haven't done anything else at all. People have been hurt by the good projects. So, you know, the bad ones, we don't need to give them any light. Again, I can make guaranteed money over here farming. So I don't know that there's a super big need to go out and do too much other stuff, but that's it. Our goal is really just to try to make as much funds as possible. There's going to be a limited time here. This question comes up all the time. So let's address it here. There's a lot of people that are like, how long are you going to run this? Are you going to get burnt out? Whatever. There's going to be a point. I'm not really the burnout type. I'm always working. There will be a point where we don't want to run PACA anymore. You know, whether that's 2 years from now or 5 years from now, it won't last forever, right? And there's certain markets that are more fun to farm in, and there's certain markets that are terrible to farm in. So once we get to a nasty bear market and everything, you know, the market's getting its face ripped off, there's going to be periods of time where most responsible thing is going to be to just hold cash, right? Hold cash, make some other plays, maybe some lending, a few things like that. In that case, the fundamental backbone of PACA, which is farming right now, and that's what we've said, and, you know, everything will be less of a factor. We'd have to roll to cash for a little bit, not farm for a little bit, maybe wait till the market's leveled out. Just can't take major drawdowns and a permanent loss. So it just becomes a much different game at that point. Do we want to rotate out to something else? Do we want to sit for a while? Stop all new stakes coming in, wait for 18 months, start them back up. It just depends. It just depends on the market. You can't really ever tell what the market's going to give you. Sometimes, who knows, maybe all the institutional capital that comes in will level the market out to where the pairs we like to farm are less volatile, and therefore your ranges have to be super tight in order for you to make a decent ROI. Not unlike farming some of these really large cap, more stable tokens, or even farming like stable coins. You can farm stable coins, they just don't move very much, right? So you're okay earning 8% a year. So there's a lot of factors that go into play, and we don't know what the market's going to give us at that point, but there will be a point where it's like, market's not really producing what we would like in order for this to be really profitable for us. And so, we'll call it a day. But, worst case scenario, that goes out over time, and then we just make a decision, and the market's not feeding us, we pay out the rest of the stakes, and we're good. If then everything pops off, and we have a good couple years, we may just say, it's been wonderful. We're not even going to wait to get to that point to see what happens. You guys can continue to claim out all your stakes. No new stakes will come in, and then we'll all ride off into the sunset, at least doubling all of our money, if not a ton more, because some of you guys have been in from the beginning. There's a lot of you guys that have more than doubled your money already, right? You've already gone through the 0.4 250-day cycle, claimed out, maybe reinvested. We're deep into it right now. So before too long, we're going to be through two 250-day cycles. So a lot of you guys have really increased your balances a lot. Many of you are putting yourself in a position where you've compounded enough and got a good compound claim strategy, which is ultimately like what the goal of every ROI DApp always was. Like, build yourself up to a decent balance and then just start taking profits as you go. Maybe you claim 1 or 2 days a week and then you compound the rest, you let that grow, and then you're kind of taking off the balance as you go. And that was the whole strategy and drip and every other thing. But when it's attached to a token that goes down, then obviously that doesn't help you. You got to start claiming more and more. In this case, it's a stable coin, so everyone can plan out their future accordingly. And we love the people that are responsibly creating a little strategy, and it makes life better. JC in the house. JC's our resident expert on a lot of things, helps us a lot in the background. So we want to make sure we give him plenty of love. He's extremely helpful when we need him to dig into something, or we have a math problem we're trying to work out in our heads. So he's super, super helpful.
And he's a super cool guy as well. Like, if you see JC in, if OGs will remember JC from YouTube, multiple shows, and he's just the same kind of person. In real life and on the phone, in private chats, super, super nice guy. So yeah, we respect JC very much. We look after JC.
Yeah, and I linked up with JC in person not too long ago. We went and had breakfast together, talked a lot about PACA for hours and different strategies, crypto market, a little bit of everything, business, all sorts of stuff. So it's really cool to link up with people in person after you've known them for years on the crypto side.
You want to pop that? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So current strategy is designed to scale effectively as TVL keeps growing. This is 11 million is not a lot of money in terms of what's out there in the crypto market. So we're not really even remotely close to a point where, we'd have to like consider killing deposits. We're the markets are massive space. A lot of these pools have tens of millions, hundreds of millions, $1 billion in them. So we're not, we may be a sizable party in some of these, but we're not by any means the big whales. There's people a lot bigger than us in those. So it's not really a factor right now. If we had $50 million in there right now, it may, we may tweak the strategy slightly, but even that isn't really enough. So it's like other protocols have gone, hey, we got to put a cap on it or XYZ. We have the entire crypto space. We're not getting money from one source that all of a sudden won't start producing it. It's not really how it works. Rate concentrated liquidity pool farming works is you are providing liquidity down the middle of a range. And so whereas a broker or whatever would normally do that, every trade and transaction that happens, instead of the broker footing the bill in between, by the time that transaction happens, they're basically gonna cover you for a short period of time, and then they get it from the buyer. Same thing, but we get the fees because we're providing the liquidity. So that's it. You're just farming it down the middle of a range. If you do a really wide range, then your money's spread out, then you're getting less of a percentage. If you pick a small range, then you get a ton of the money in that range because you're providing all the liquidity in there. But if it goes out of that range, then you don't make any more money. So you'd have to, the space would have to change for we'd have to have either so much money it was ridiculous, or the space and how it works would have to change. There are certainly cases where like a pair we trade now gets so big, so saturated that it's like I said, the stablecoin example where you have to farm such a tight range for it to make sense to make any money that we would have to move to another pair, but there's always other pairs. So right now we've got the stuff we like. We've tried a little bit of everything on different chains. There's certain chains we really like because we can make a lot more money there. But in terms of like us being affected by a TVL like of 10 million came in today, I'd deploy it in a way that was smart over a short period of time. I wouldn't splash it all in one transaction, just to make sure that it's almost like DCAing into the positions that we currently have, but it's a non-factor. Basically, we're not a big whale. You got SwapX out here with a $70+ million TVL. PACA's 11 million isn't making big waves in any of these markets. You know, it's awesome. Like, we're super grateful for it. But in terms of our TVL growing so far that we now have outrun every DEX's ability to farm at scale is it's not a factor.
Notwithstanding the fact that our TVL isn't always going up, although you may think it does. Obviously, with the marketplace and people actually actively withdrawing their initial stake. For instance, on what day is it today? Tuesday. Yesterday, I think there was 28 grand withdrawn. People are taking the money out of PACA. So if we had 100,000, today we've got 72. We're paying out on 72, but we might still be farming 100 because our profit has been compounded back in. So it's always a variable. It moves, it changes, and it shakes. So we, on top of what Scott's just said, we build utility and always think about, we've got 3 other things that we're cooking at the moment and thinking, that's a nice little way to pay people early, or they can leave that way, which is why the marketplace was designed to add utility. Because like Scott said, we're not whales. We are whales in our eyes because, you know, there's a lot of money. But in terms of the universe, we're just a tiny dot, like planet Earth is in the Milky Way. It pales in comparison to some people. But we haven't just said money in, farm it, money out. We've also added multiple elements of utility, and we'll continue to do so as long as it fits in with our TradFi, DeFi mindset. Serious, but in crypto, where we can all eat at the same table. And we've mentioned a few projects that we've all probably been in and had problems with in the past. We're stable coins. We take the money and we farm it and we deploy it in ways that is going to earn both us and you money. Because look, don't think that we do this for free. If we're having a good week or month or quarter and our balance sheet's looking good, obviously our wages, we pay ourselves above our liability. Some weeks we don't even pay ourselves, we just compound it back in, don't we? We just say, what should we do this week, lads? Put it back in. So it's kind of its own treasury being built inside because we're not taking anything. So it's like TVL is a word that people fixate on. I'm not saying that particular person, but what if it just continues to grow? It's never going to continue to grow because we have created things that allow us to let a little bit of air out the tire without being hurt by anything. So if you put too much air into a tire, PSI, it continues to blow and blow and blow until it explodes, and then all sorts of stuff happens. We just let a little bit of air out every now and again, and you guys do that by using the marketplace and by leaving and coming back and compounding. So we're a very effective protocol that was built with an idea in mind, but now it's come to fruition. You can actually see these things happening, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, we're enjoying it. So, you know, that's
why we've always been strong proponents of a healthy compound claim strategy. So our total deposits number will continue to go up because every time someone deposits, that will tick up. But people will claim, people will get out, move to other protocols. We've had people get out and say, oh, I'm going to try something super risky now. I'm like, if that's what you want to do, you know, we all know how that goes. Eventually it'll go under, but some people are new and haven't felt the pain that we've all felt over the last couple of years. So, yeah, but everyone has free will, the ability to do that. So that'll constantly go up and down. Not really a huge factor for us. We're happy that people claim over time. We're happy that people leave. We're happy that people come back. We prefer not to have people just constantly cheat because, you know, obviously we want to ride this market up too and have the opportunity to have a bigger balance to do that with. But we also don't want people to just suicide compound for their entire life and, you know, have an idea in their head that they're going to walk away with this thing with 725 million because they've run the calculation. If they only compound for the next 15 years, what they're going to walk away from. Like, let's be realistic. You can make a bunch of money in this, but let's have a realistic goal and try to make this a little bit more like traditional finance, which is a much bigger payout. So, yeah, that's basically our idea, our thought process behind everything. We're paying more
Hey, Chris.
than his job is. That's awesome.
Oh wow, yeah, PACA's paying me more than my job, but
I think people are asking the how long question because they enjoy PACA. Longer term stake through the bear market be a great idea. It's just tough when, you know, we've offered. There's a lot of people that claim about or complain about the 250-day stake. Not people that have really been in for a while. Just initially, that's so long to lock up your money, XYZ, and we've explained a bunch of times why that is. There is no way you can have short-term locks and offer high rates because you need the averages over time in concentrated liquidity pools. It's impossible. I could not do it. So we offer the best amount of time we thought was that 250-day mark. We offered shorter ones with lesser APRs, and no one used them. Literally 98+% of people, when we had the 50-day, the 150-day, and the 250-day one, 98% of people used the 250 days. They just wanted the higher percentage at 0.33 or 0.4 during the promo or whatever. They just wanted the higher one. No one wanted the lower stakes. So that's the thing. We can certainly offer a lower one that will run through the bear market, but you tell me right now what we could offer in the bear market. I can only guess. I have no idea what the market is going to give us during the bear market, because you have to calculate in impermanent loss during the bear market on the way down. The sideways days it's relatively the same. As long as you can pick a decent range, you could still make the money that we're making today. You know, bear markets don't only go down, they chop sideways. But the big down days where you see 10%, 15% drawdowns at red, do you happen to be in cash during those periods? If you are, then you're in great shape, and then you just re-range. If you're not, then you take the impermanent loss to the downside, and then you have to decide, okay, is it bouncing back up at all, or just take the loss there, re-range, try to make up for the loss? So it's a super difficult math equation that I don't have the answers to yet. I don't know what that market's going to produce at that time. I can make some educated guesses, but I'd much rather have it be sustainable. So in truth, I definitely get what you're saying, but if I offered a lower long-term bear market rate right now, very few people would actually take advantage of it because they didn't before. And I couldn't guarantee the success of those at whatever rate that was over time. So as we get closer, we'll be able to do the math that's more exact, and then we'll be able to make the decision then. If the market goes crazy and we're 10 million bucks up and everything's awesome, maybe we just pay everyone out, walk away. It just, who knows, we'll make that decision when we come to it. But it's a difficult math problem to know in the future what it's really going to be able to pay out, and get people to agree to a longer term stake in a bear market, because a lot of people haven't really been through a real bear market where they're coming off the bull market, where their imbalances are absolutely insane, and then everything gets cut by 80-90%. It's just a ton of fear, and everyone's selling out, and very few people are going, lock up my funds for a year and a half, 2 years. It's a great question.
Know what the new bear markets are. The new bear markets could be nothing like we've seen in previous cycles.
It won't be the same.
No,
I've said this a lot. I've been saying for many years, I think the whole Bitcoin cycle is going to be different. Lee, I've talked your ear off about this. But I think everything's going to change with institutional capital coming in. And, now you've institutional capital, you're not just in the daily trading and all this stuff and the way the markets move, but you're talking about 401ks, pensions, all that come big, $100 billion pension plans coming in and picking up Bitcoin as part of their portfolio. It's just going to level the market out a little bit different. It'll end up looking more like the stock market. Stock market pullbacks are 20 to 25%, and crypto market pullbacks are 90%. So I think eventually the crypto market will turn into something that's closer to the stock market, meaning bear markets won't be as bad and bull markets won't be as great. So you've got that going on as well. There's just a lot of variables for me to make an assumption at what the market's going to turn into and be able to calculate a return that we can manage off of that. It's tough. It's a great question. Just a pain to answer. Not yet, buddy. Soon, very soon. We'll do a live stream with Keith maybe next week. We can get one in next week.
Yeah.
I'd be able to get one in next week and do a live and talk through every detail of what's going on with Suie, and got some announcements on that front.
You can definitely do a live stream next week. Questions, comments, concerns?
Got a good amount of people online. We've been on for 50 minutes already. This is insane.
I know,
So fast.
crazy. I just looked at that and thought, wow.
All right, I'll take the opportunity real quick since we have a quick pause to explain this. So, again, $40,000 in crypto is getting given away. You barely have to do anything to get it. So get involved with it. Share it if you don't mind. We'd love to get this out to more people. It just brings more eyes on the protocol, both on PACA's side and SwapX side. They've been great partners. It's been super fun so far. If you follow PACA on X, 3 entries. If you retweet the promotional post, which is in the drop down, you're going to get 10 entries. You've got the YouTube video following. You've got to enter your wallet addresses. Don't mess this up, because that's how we're going to pay you. If you mess it up, then you're either not going to get the money, or if there's nothing in there, we will not be sending it to you. We'll pick a different winner. Pick up a SwapX NFT if you don't already have one on paintswap.io, and then you'll get an extra 60 entries. And then all these are related to either buying SwapX on the DEX or staking in PACA on both the Sonic and base pools. Now, a bunch of people have said, not a bunch of people, but at least one person that I saw has said, hey, why doesn't the USDT side, get access to these entries? The reason we did that is because we're trying to incentivize what we want. We want more money to come in on the base side, and we want more money to come in on the Sonic side. Sonic, obviously, we use those to fund those pools. Base, we use those to fund those pools. Those both have lower gas, and we're using them on SwapX and some other dexes and everything to do some farming. The most expensive one for us right now, and for you guys to compound, is USDT on the BSC side. So we're incentivizing moving some stuff over to even out those pools. So obviously, I'm going to do what I feel is best for the protocol and what I want, and that's why. So nothing on the BSC side, just because we're incentivizing evening out those pools a little bit. It's easier for us, a little cheaper for us to bridge when we're bridging stuff over. We farm very little on BSC. Just doesn't make money. Tight ranges, doesn't make enough money to warrant everything. So we farm some on that side to make sure we have some I guess liquid stuff already on the chain. So if we need to fill the contract balance and the rewards balance as time goes on, as people go in and claim that we have the availability to do that. But we don't farm a ton over there. So when you make a deposit over on the BSC side, I'm generally bridging that money over to another chain, and it costs money. And so that's all, operational costs that we have to pay every time we're bridging back and forth. So I'm doing what makes more sense for the protocol in terms of profitability and all that. So that's what we've got here. Like I said, we're going to be adding some stuff in here. So if you feel like you've taken all the actions you can, don't just breeze by this every day, because you're going to have the opportunity to come in and take some new actions and get some additional entries. This ends on 4:30. So you got 29 days, 10 hours, and 1 minute left, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a super cool giveaway, a competition, because it doesn't, like we said at the start, it doesn't just ask for money. Like, it's an important part of what we do. Obviously, we do, do videos on PACA, but you'll notice on my channel, I haven't done any paid videos. Scott alluded to it at the start of the stream. I've been contacted, even though my YouTube channel isn't as active as the back in the day, because obviously you can probably see here, I'm at work in the office. This is my business premises. And I've been offered some pretty crazy money for the amount of engagement I've had over the last month, but we're just not really, we're not into you at the moment. We're too busy. And some people say, well, you could do that and put the money into PACA. Yeah, we could, but $2.5 grand to potentially send people to something that's a little bit, one of them was 12.5% per day for 365 days. So, I mean, they were promising 100 grand payouts and all this just dog crap. So we've sort of evolved into the place where there were so many promising projects. Was it 2023, 24-ish? We were getting like some good projects coming around and thought, you know what, this is decent. And they all ended up the same way, and devs disappeared, and you know, it just got a little bit tiring. And as you grow older and more experienced in crypto, you start realizing you already know certain things, but you get that gut feeling. You don't want to start shilling crap to people who have become friends and investors in PACA. That's why it's got to be pretty damn good to get us sort of aroused. That's what she said. Got one in. That's what she said. Got two in. That's what she said. So yeah, we've focused on you guys and girls and PACA and doing everything we can. We've got eyes on every part and every corner of the market, and we're building partnerships and friendships with other projects that pass the test. And obviously everyone, well, most of you will know Swapex, hence why we're doing this competition. Solid team, track record, and we're starting to lose the dust and just refine the gold that we find around us. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be involved with these big projects. And you know, we've supported some of them from day one, as they have with us, before we even knew. I mean, SwapX was what, 9 months, 10 months? We were in from literally hour one. We were like, yeah, whatever it is, we're in. And it's pretty cool to see our voting position, because I've had some questions about the voting positions. That's one of the things that you'll see. We've got, I think, 1.6 million votes, something ridiculous. We're closing in on 2 million votes, and that happens every epoch, Wednesday, UK time at midnight. And we obviously don't just go into memes or don't just go into the corpals. We spread our votes that benefit us as farmers, you as farmers, and then we'll have a little degen bag on the side which just earns pure cash, and all of that comes into the vaults that you claim from. Obviously we bridge it from Sonic and put it in the Sonic vault, but it's just another element of income. We're all about external sources of revenue, and we'll continue to innovate. And if we see a good opportunity with an external revenue source, it's going to get added. So watch the space.
Definitely. We got a couple good questions here. Ryan, Mr. Big, give me a second here. I'm going to present my screen again. Okay, so the vaults. This question is, can you explain the 10% every 25 days in the vault? You're in the XRP vault. So here's how it works. When you put your money into the vault, it is a 250-day stake that vests every 25 days, 10%. So if you put it in today, in 25 days, you can your balance available will be 10% of that. You can take it out. You can leave it in to get the tier bonus that it gives you, and just let it sit and take it out later, or you can take it out right then if you want. And then every 25 days, you can also claim the 10% bonus, portion of the 10% bonus that you're going to get. So if you deposit $10,000 in XRP today, in 25 days, you will be able to take out, I don't know how many XRP that actually works, but 10% of that XRP you'd be able to take out, whatever $1,000 worth of XRP is at that time. And then you'd be able to do that every 25 days until you had all of it back. Or you can just leave it sit for 6 months and then take it all, take the majority out of it in one lump sum, or you can wait the 250 days and take it all out at once. It's up to you. But what that does is, let's say you've got 10,000 XRP, you park it in there and you're stoked, and XRP just goes wild. Now, normally, if you were in a stake, it'd be like, you don't get it back until the end. This, in 25 days, you'd be able to go, cool, why don't I scale out of this position? Since I'm up so much, let me claim my 10% of my XRP back that vested at 25 days, and I'm going to sell that off, and I'm just starting to take profits. And then in 25 more days, I can sell an extra 10%, so you'd be 20% scaled out of that position, and so on and so forth. If, like you're seeing now, I've got a bunch of XRP in here. The initial value was 20K. Now it's only 17. Why would I go in and sell that right now for a loss? It's available for me if I want to go claim it. If not, why don't I just park on it and wait for the bull run to actually really kick in? So that's it. That's how it works. The whatever the dollar value is of that XRP when you put it in, you're going to get a 10% bonus on that. So if it's $10,000 when you put it in, you're going to get a $1,000 bonus, and that's going to be spread out over the same, 10%, 25-day periods. So you're going to be able to go in and claim that bonus along the way as well. And that
change my lens.
Coin. So that's exactly how it works. Hopefully that clarified it. But you stake it in there. If you put 10,000 in XRP, you guys can do the math. 10% of that in terms of dollar value would be 1,000. So you get $1,000 USD C bonus in that case. 10% of that's going to get paid out every 25 days until you hit 250 days. And your XRP is going to come back available every 25 days until you have the entirety back. And even after that, you could just leave it in there if you want that tier bonus, because that's giving you a boost on your stakes in the pools. So that's how that works. For the most part, like what I'm doing, I'm not touching my XRP that it's in there, because it's not worth as much as what I put it in for. And I think it's going to be worth 10x what it is now. So I would rather have the boost in the pools. I'll let that sit forever. And then when the time comes, I'm going to go, cool, I'm going to claim it. I may put some of it back in, or I may sell part of it on the market, or I may keep some of it liquid. But that's exactly how it works. We don't really make money on the vaults. It's just a safe way for you to put capital. We're basically at a break even on it, so it's just a safe way for people to put capital in the system, get a little bonus, incentivizes those people who are just parking money in there to put a little more money in the pools, which does help us out. So that's how that works. Let's see. My only issue, it's all great, but for some reason when I go to upload PACA, my gas fee is nearly $75 on Binance Chain. For one, I can guarantee you're using MetaMask or some other thing and not using Ravi. I would strongly suggest that everyone who is using anything on desktop, that you're using Ravi. It makes no sense to me that people are still using MetaMask. All you got to do is take your seed phrase and plug it in when you're putting in the extension. Go to Ravi.io, I believe, put it in load the new wallet up, put the one you got from MetaMask, that user code or that seed phrase into the wallet, and then all your stuff will populate, and then you won't have those issues. It's going to automatically populate all the chains for you, or for the most part of pretty much all of them. And it's a safer, it's got higher level of security. There's a million reasons you guys should all convert over to Ravi. So I don't get any money from supporting them, but it's a much superior wallet. So that's part of it. The issue that you're having there isn't a PACA issue. That's a MetaMask issue. So I'm fairly certain that you're using MetaMask. If you ever get something like that, do not accept that transaction. Go in, refresh it, reload, and then load it up again, and it should work. But that is a MetaMask issue. Crypto Watcher, one of our fearless admins. Can you tell us if lending is still on the future roadmap? Lending is still on the future roadmap. We just got to figure out the way to do it, the best way to do it, that it makes sense for everybody. I am not a fan of adding features just to add features. So there's a lot of ideas that we've come up with, and the boys have come up with, and they've spent days on and said, we've got it. We got something awesome. And it might be cool. Like they're great ideas. They're just for a niche population. And so for me, if it's not going to be easy to use for the mass population, I just don't know if it belongs on PACA, because we've kind of got a personal brand there on PACA that gives us a style, of the stuff that we offer. So I want to stick to that. It's got to be simple. It's got to be easy to use. It's got to be able to explain it in a pretty easy manner. We've gone completely away from having any games listed on PACA. We thought about bringing back Street Vendor Wars and doing a few things like that. Decided that doesn't fit the vibe that PACA has become, just in more of a simple traditional style financial platform. So we got to do lending in a way that it makes the most sense. In many cases, a lot of people have they've used the marketplace, so it's filled some of that void where the people who have needed funds have been able to get out. So marketplace has filled some of that immediate void. So lending is still on the roadmap, but I want to find a way that we can do it that makes the most sense. We don't have tokens. So where some of these platforms have come out with cool lending options, they're using it so you can lend against their own token. And it's in an effort to where their token value doesn't go down, which is cool, but we don't have tokens. So it's not the same. It's not the same math problem, if you will. So it's definitely still on the list. And that's one thing that I feel like if we did it right, would definitely fit along the lines of what the pools, vaults, that traditional feel of being able to lend against your assets and use it for other things. It's definitely on brand, if you will. But we're going to have to figure out to do it in the exact right way. Right now, we've been very focused on getting this giveaway contest going and having it run really well and getting Suie up and launched. Obviously, we just locked out the marketplace. We've still got stuff coming that's going to try to help break down, protocol health or whatever. People just want to see a generic dashboard that shows protocol health and everything. And it's difficult to do because we're in 10 different farms on different platforms and different wallets and switching those positions all the time. So it gets a little more difficult, and our goal is never to be like a copy trading service. So that's it. But we're trying to make sure we give people the right information without giving people the ability to just rip us off, because that's exactly what's happened a few times. We've had several different ideas that we've discussed with other groups that they immediately went out and then it was their idea. And so there's been plenty of that. So we're trying to make sure that we maintain the sanctity of PACA. We just keep it running. It's smooth. And if some investors don't want to invest because we don't give them every piece of information they want, that's all right. We really need the masses to just be comfortable and have a platform that they can use. So that's what we're running with for right now. Let's see.
Stand up.
Thank you. We appreciate that. SJ Happy Man. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, this hoodie is awesome. This hoodie is awesome. So I made this. I made this way back. We were finalizing the new branding. I was pretty set on this logo. So I made this in secret, unbeknownst to the guys. I was actually traveling and I ran into some shirt vendor who was like trying to get me to make a shirt from him. And I literally had the logo in like a mock-up form on my phone and my emails or whatever, because I've been working with our designer on a lot of stuff. And I just said, can you make this? So he made this, and then I posted, sent it over to the boys, and they're like, oh, I love it. And then I posted some leaks of what the new rebranding was in our Telegram, and maybe even did like a YouTube deal and one of my hats and stuff like that. So I leaked that we were turning into PACA well before it ever came out. All right. Well, we've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. Covered the contest, covered the new updates and how everything's going. I feel like, people are pumped. Just about the flow of PACA and just the reliability of them being able to just come back when they want to, claim when they want to, redeposit when they want to. Besides some little tiny server issues where it's been slow here or there over the last couple of weeks for like an hour, I don't think we really had any problems. Haven't really had any downtime. And so in general, I think we're doing a pretty good job as a team. There's definitely stuff I want to make perfect, but I think in general, I'd give us a solid B+, and I'm pretty critical. So,
that's for them to say, dude. Not you. You can't score yourself.
You guys can vote on how you PAC has been. It's pretty solid. I'm glad we went down the road of farming. We originally had some other ideas that we were gonna turn into a half Ponzi-nomics, half whatever real world revenue and inject everything and figure out how to make it last for a long time. And I feel like some people have tried that lately and it just doesn't work. I feel like it doesn't work very long. So it makes it more difficult. So full farming is the route we decided to take, and it's ended up being a good one. And at some point, this market's going to turn around, and we're going to be in really good shape. Had a nice pop in the market, as Lee and I have been discussing over the last couple of days. Nice, nice pop in the market. I made the wrong call. I'm like, market's feeling weak. I think it's going to go down.
Well, I'm just going to tell him my way. Let me tell him. I'm not going to have the watered down version. I'm just going to tell him, right? So there's a new hashtag that when Scott calls me on my phone, my actual phone, he'll be like, "Oh, dude, fancy shorting the market." Bear in mind, this is not PACA money. We don't trade. We do this. Me, Keith, and Scott have little trading competitions with a few $100 here, or if we want to double up, we'll do 1,000 or whatever. So he's like, "I think we should go short." So I was like, we call it hashtag Scott's calls. And some of them are really good. Like, I'm taking the piss a little bit. But now when Scott calls a short, I'll just go long. I'll just straight in along. I earned $350 in profit this morning because Scott told me to go short last night.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, it's funny. We had such a laugh doing it. It's how we keep ourselves entertained.
I've had a couple misses. When the market was kind of cratering, I think it was like midday Sunday. I was thinking that morning, like, hey, the market's feeling a little weak. And so I'm like, I should go short, but I didn't take that short till way later. And immediately I took it, the market turned around, of course. So that was awesome. But
we did make bank on your shorts and longs the week before, didn't we? Week before last, but back end of the week before. We were we were up decent, so we took some profit, and we use that money. We'll create a pack of stake, or throw something into Burnex. That's probably worth mentioning actually, because it's a SwapX partner. Just before we wrap up, Burnex is if you don't know, Burnex is obviously a protocol that burns SwapX, and you can buy Burnex with SwapX, and you can also at the moment stake it in the Genesis round in Medieval. We'll provide some links in the Telegram link if someone can post the Telegram link to PACA Finance in the chat, just so they find the correct one. Don't respond to DMs because they're all over us at the moment with clone profile pictures and profiles. So anyway, Burnex is a really good protocol. I'm up massive personally on that bag, and it's the Genesis round it's a tomb fork over on Sonic. And the Genesis round is where you get crazy APRs. You provide the LP from the token once you've deposited your Burnex or SwapX. But the token itself is doing a really good job. It's got a based team. They're always in the Telegram chat. They're looked after by the SwapX community as well. There's a lot of OGs in there. And I think it's just worth a little 2-minute mention because they're doing some great work. The devs don't take fees. They don't sell their own tokens. They're not whales. In fact, I'm one of the biggest in that protocol, a top 5 or top 6 whale, whatever. So they're super honest, and they're a good protocol to mention. And if you're interested in the Sonic side of things, and you've got a little bit of spare capital that you're not putting into PACA, or you've got some SwapX that you don't want to sell, which is more important, do your own research, of course. And we're not financial advisors. But it's a way of deploying some SwapX if you want to diversify your portfolio, not just stick all your eggs in one basket and not sell your SwapX, because you never know. It could do a 5x, 10x, 20x, 1000x, or it could just stay sideways. We don't know, but it's a good team, and I think they deserve a little shout out. So thanks to Burnex for being kind to us, and I think it's cool. So thank you very much.
Agreed. Good shout out. They've been awesome, and we're farming in some of their pools, and Lee's heavy in the protocol, so super fun. We'll continue to try to get good partnerships and stuff like that together. We're always doing that. We got some cool partnerships that are kind of in the works that we're slowly talking through. It's got to be the right fit, but so far I think we've done a reasonable job. Most of you guys have given us good ratings, so smash the like if you guys don't mind. on your way out. And I think we'll end it here because we're about an hour and 15 minutes. I like to make these shorter, but as soon as you start talking, it goes long. But hopefully that's pretty descriptive for everybody. But please like and share. Get involved in the contest. There's literally just free money that we're giving away. So I don't think there's any reason not to. Quick last second question. We're thinking about this. This is a possibility.
Yeah, possible.
Okay. All right, Lee. We'll let you close it out.
Yep. Thank you for hosting and talking the most, and thanks to everyone for being in the chat. As you know, we're always willing to respond and be active no matter what's happening in the market, or as you know, obviously in our personal lives, we always try and be around. So thanks for being around and listening to us, and thanks, Scott, for hosting. Appreciate you all.
Yep, my pleasure, and thank you guys for joining. Happy investing. Super excited to see how you guys feel about some of the stuff we're rolling out over the next couple of weeks. So we'll get Keith on the next one, and thank you guys for joining again. See you guys in the chats.